I'm Jennifer Johnson and I raise sheep for their wool.
Here at Whispering Pines Farm, we raise a small flock of Shetland sheep in western New York State with the goal of producing soft, crimpy wool for hand spinners. Thank you for liking this video and subscribing to our channel.
So lambing has begun officially here at Whispering Pines with Mabel and her beautiful new lamb. So I came in to do chores. It was around 7 o'clock at night, and Mabel had already delivered, which was funny because I had been in here about a half an hour earlier and I didn't even see any signs from her. So no fuss, no muss, had her baby, everything's fine. The baby is eating and, you know, perfectly healthy. Everything is great here. And then about 3 hours after that, little Miss Tatiana, hello, had her 2 lambs. Now this is a first time mother. So she had a ram and a ewe. The ram is spotted, catmugget, and the ewe appears to be just a catmugget, and they're both brown. So I'm gonna go through the genetics for all you color genetic geeks out there.
So the color genetics we'll do in another video. This video I wanted to show you the live birth of Tatiana's lambs. Happened to catch it. This is the camera that we had in our living room that we were watching and monitoring her. So this was at 10 o'clock at night on Sunday. She's doing this yawning thing right now, which is typical pre-birth activity. And that pawing on the ground is another thing that they do. So there's actually a little hole here. I accidentally dug too deep with the tractor, and it created this sort of like a ledge that they can actually push up against when they're in labor, when they're doing their contractions. And the straw is just left there from when we filled Mabel's stall, because Mabel had her lamb about 3 hours prior to this. We like to be present for the lambing, but we usually will wait until she's really close to having the lamb. So we monitor her from the living room and then go out once we see indication that the lamb's about ready to come out. So once we decide to head out there, we go as quick as we can, because in that interval of time, you know, the lamb could be on the ground, and we really love to be there for it. Quick hike from the house to the barn. We leave the lights on in the lambing area so it's easier for the cameras to pick up on anything. So what I was going to do here, and I did do it, is I was going to move all the sheep to the east wing and lock them in there so they weren't underfoot if we were trying to go back and forth for whatever reason, from like to get water in the stalls for the new mothers or whatever. Most of them are pretty good. Some of them didn't get the assignment. All right, so they're locked in there. And then what I wanted to do was move the bread ewes into the center area, so that way we would have all clear over here. So that's what I did. Rich has got the lambing kit there, and then another camera that we were going to install over the 2 stalls there. So there's Tatiana with a baby practically hanging out. I'm going to black and white any of the sections here that are questionable for YouTube content so that it's not as graphic. So there's nothing wrong with your television. It's me doing that. You can see how the sides are caved in there. Tail is up. Tatiana's not real comfortable with us, so that's part of her stress as well. Inexplicably, we still hadn't brought down straw, so I think this is where Rich is getting straw, and I was locking the ewes into that center section just to make it easier if we had to move Tatiana, or when we had to move Tatiana into her individual lambing stall. We like to kind of leave her alone and let her just push out the lambs and then move her into the lambing stall, because it seems like if you move them into the lambing stall before they have the lambs, it slows them down, slows down their labor. Just a quick check in on Mabel and her lamb. This lamb seems to be doing really well. Her belly's nice and full. These are some good hard contractions. That's what we like to see. And we try to stay as far away from her as we can be. Best is just to be out of her eye line so that she's not going to delay. So she had her lamb, and new mother, she's just kind of bewildered. But one thing I like to do right away is suck out any mucus just to keep them from choking. And then I back off because I want Tatiana to start cleaning her. And she sets to work, so it's just like a big relief.
Trying to wake her up for him. Okay.
That tapping that she does on the lamb, that's just an instinct. It's to get the lamb stimulated and aroused. She was kind of taking it to the next level, but
All right.
It's
all right.
okay.
All right. All right. She's
and she's already started doing that nattering sound. I think it's part of doing contractions when because she's still having contractions. Just checking to see if it's a boy or a girl, and it's a girl. It's always a bit nerve-wracking with a first-time mother. You never know how she's gonna be, but Tatiana did great. And now it's time to put the lamb in the stall so that mommy and baby can have time together without other interference and just bond.
Tatiana, she is.
No, it doesn't.
She's fine. She's lovely.
Another thing that we like to do that we don't need to do is just to get things started with the lactation department. So the first time the udder produces milk, there was a plug, so I express milk out to get that plug out, and also just to make sure she's got colostrum. And then I'll put the lamb on the teat and just make sure that the lamb is able to suck and that the mother's going to let her eat and stuff. And we do that before we go back in the house. And it's really nice when the lamb latches on really rapidly and gets a good long drink, which is exactly what happened here. And I have to sort of crouch there while the lamb is eating. I like to keep her on the udder, so I sort of have to forcibly do it, otherwise the lamb will pull away. I don't have to do it, I just like to. We like to know they're getting the colostrum right away. Sounded like she was having little trouble drinking, so I was just getting rid of some of the congestion that she had with the snot sucker.
There's a
It's interesting. Tatiana is really not a friendly ewe, but here she's, there was a little bit of fluid that got on me. She was licking it off of me, and she's really letting me handle her lamb like a boss, actually. She's doing really well.
You like that? How's that feel? Does it feel good, Tatiana? It's your baby. That's your little baby. Good job. Pretty sure it's a girl. Yep, I think so. Yep. It's a girl.
I just said to Rich, I think there's another one in there. So it's unusual for a first-time mother to have twins, but it does happen on occasion. Rich and I are in the next stall over checking on Mabel's lamb just to make sure she's eating enough. But she's doing fine.
Not sucking it. She's fine. She's always drinking now. I'm sorry. You got this. Well, something's coming out. See it?
Yeah. I'll go shut that.
We got a big baby. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Hello there.
It's a male, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. Yes. Hey there, little man. Hey. She's eating a lot. Good girl. Good girl. Your brother's gonna take over pretty soon. I think. He's already trying to find. Oh, look. Hello. Let me kick Sissy off here in a second. Oh. Okay, let's give little brother a chance. He just pigged out.
So here we're putting iodine on the umbilical cord, and that helps it to dry off rapidly and also sterilizes the area so that nothing can get up in there. Another reason why we like to be there. We don't want to have that go on for too long before they get the iodine. So now we locked him in. A little bit of extra straw just to keep him nice and warm. Little Sissy's already walking. Brother looks to be pretty much cleaned off. They both have had something to eat. So now it's let all the sheep back to their normal quarters, and we can go in and go to bed. So the first lamb of the season is a Morit Smerslet ewe out of Duncan and Maple. With a cool swipe on her nose. It's not like a straight up and down mark. And then soon after, Tatiana and Duncan had a fawn catmugget ewe, but she's really dark, so it's kind of cool. And a fawn catmugget ram who's also spotted. So far, so good. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you can come back soon.